This is our walking tour of Boston. We're going to go see some of the sights. This is our group. That dude right there is our guide. We only bring the little ones. He's cute though.
Yeah, but that means it gets away with stuff.
Absolutely.
You wanna stare at me? I'll stare at you. I mean, we'll just go for it. How old are you?
Almost two.
I have a nephew that's about 1.5 if you want to hang out with him. He doesn't say much.
Yep.
He says everything.
He says he never stops.
Mine just makes a lot of noise and falls once in a while. Yeah.
He just copies what we say.
Well, that's okay. Well, I'm going to copy what you say, so there you go. How old are you? 9. He's 9. And who's this one, this short person here? Or, oh, you know what? My other nephew's 4, if you want to meet him. He's a good-looking man. Really? Where do you live?
Ohio.
And you're going to Maine. Very nice. You know what's in Maine? Lots of trees. Yes, that's pretty much what they're known for. Very nice. Oh, look, don't we have a weekend planned? Are you in school?
Yeah.
You're homeschooled? Well, that means you're not in school. Look where you are right now. You're home. You're not at home.
That's right.
Field
That's
trip.
right.
Ethan has this look on his face like he's not sure about me, which is fine because I'm not sure about him. He means someone new. Ethan and I are going to be buddies later on. In fact, Ethan is going to do my afternoon tour today.
Nice.
He'll probably just be staring at you while you're talking.
Most people do. So we have Ohio. How about here? Where are you visiting? Virginia? More Texans.
Holy cow.
Here this year. Nobody's at home. Nobody's at home. You're too afraid. Kentucky. You're all together. Do you know each other? Is that good? Do you want to? I mean, we did this. And this is the oldest park in America. 1634. And it's where our city began. Now, we've got to go back to the year of 1625, for that's when the first Bostonian showed up. Now, his last name was Blackstone, and he was from a colony south of the city. He didn't like it there. He didn't like the people. He was very anti-social. And that was not good for Blackstone, for he was a minister, an anti-social minister. Well, he found his way north, and he finds this place because there was a spring of water, and he knew he could live here. And he builds a cabin, and for 5 years, life is pretty good. Until 1630. He's now taking a walk through the area, and he's noticing across the river in what is today Charlestown, a group of Puritans. They're not doing well, because you see, the water supply there was terrible, and they were all getting sick, and what they needed was fresh water. And guess who had it? Blackstone. So he thinks to himself, well, I am a man of God, and I should probably do the good Christian thing and share with my fellow man. And he did. And the Puritans were so thankful for what he had done, they ran him out of town. So here they are, they move over here, and, well, they put a name to the place, Boston. And we get our name from our sister city. Yes, there is a town in England called Boston, and it is a very tiny place. But back in the day, it was home to these Puritans. who were very religious. However, see, in those days, the law was through the Church of England and the king, and if you didn't agree, you're persecuted. They said, well, wait a minute, we have our own ways of, our own faith and our own ways of living, and being persecuted, they came over to the New World where they could live freely. You see, they believed in religious tolerance, as long as it was their religion that you tolerated. And if you didn't, oh, they have plans. Now, in those days, this common was primarily used for the grazing of animals. But on Friday afternoons, this is where you came to watch the weekly public hanging. Oh, this was fun. You'd come out here with the family, you'd have a picnic lunch. Then you'd gather around the old elm, and they'd bring out their victims, people that were perhaps found guilty of being a witch, or a Catholic, or a Quaker. Or a child accused of talking back to their parents.
She doesn't float or anything. She's a witch.
Be honest with me. Just be honest with me. You'd be on that tree every Friday.
That's right, absolutely.
Oh, hey,
Absolutely.
guess what? Today's Friday. And I said my boss loves reenactments. So let me know.
We'll see how she is on the tour.
Hello. Well, these were very dark times. So, and by the way, when you were done up on that tree, they cut you down and they buried you in the common. This is still a massacre. After all this, people keep showing up. Word is getting back to England. Come on over. Life is good. By the time we get to the revolution, we've got a whole new set of problems. Now we've got overcrowding. This city during the 1700s had a population of about 20,000. And they're still coming over. But Boston in those days was half the size it was today. In fact, you take a look at this map. This tan area, that's the original size of the city. The only way out, other than by boat, was through this little sliver of land called Boston Neck. However, at high tide every day, it was quite possible it was covered. You were on the island. So at the turn of the 19th century, the city decided to expand. This project would take most of the 19th century, and it would begin up there, and if you notice, there's a hill. Well, there used to be 3 hills up there. They dug out 2 of them completely, and all the land up there went down to where the Back Bay is today. This hill was about 30 feet higher. That would come down, and that was put in Back Bay. Land was also brought in from outside the city to fill in the downtown and harbor areas. Now, this blue area here is the addition, the landfill, and that's where we are today. As all this is happening, we need a new capital, because the old one is just too small, so they start building one up here. And as that's being built, the very wealthy of the city decided they'd like to live next to it, and they would start developing what is left of that hill. That neighborhood up there is known as Beacon Hill. Even today, a very wealthy neighborhood. Now, back in the day, that was home to the writer Louisa May Alcott, poet Robert Frost, and today it's home to Secretary of State John Kerry. And I do recommend always to all my guests, during your visit here, if you have just maybe an hour to spare, you want to walk through that neighborhood. It's really a walk back in time. You walk through it looks like Masterpiece Theater. However, the accents are a little different. By the way, where we are right now is close to the edge of the old and the new. If you went down this path and you crossed the street down there, back in the day your feet would be wet, but today you're in the public parks. So if you have been on the Swan boats, or if you've been down to Copley Square or the Prudential Center, that's landfill. That is not original to this city. So we'll be begin our walk today. The first thing we're going to see is the Capitol. We call it the New State House. It was built in 1797. And the only reason we're still calling it new is because the old one still stands from 1713. And we'll show you that at the end of our walk. But now, as I always say, let us go see where the government of Massachusetts comes to work. Every third Tuesday, between the hours of 1 and 1:05. So let's see nothing happening today. It's another long weekend. Here we go, here we go. That is the capital of Massachusetts, 1797. And the original building is the red brick. There are additions on the sides that were added after World War I. By the way, the dome, that is 23-karat gold leaf. Originally, it was made of wood, and it would leak. So in 1802, they hired Mr. Paul Revere to put a copper dome on top. Then in the 1870s, the leaf was added. Now here's the problem with gold leaf. It is very thin, and you have to keep replacing it. Last time was about 25 years ago, and when they were done, they had used 12 pounds of gold leaf, costing us $300,000. By the way, we like to call this place Taxachusetts. Welcome. And at the very top, we've got a little ornament. That's a pine cone. That pine cone represents the state of Maine, because Maine used to be a part of Massachusetts. And there was a man that owned most of Maine. His name was John Hancock. And so wealthy, he owned the state. And I will tell you, the land the Capitol is on was his front yard. That's his property. His mansion would stand to the left back up until the 1870s, and it was in disrepair then. The family had died, there wasn't any more money. So instead of refurbishing the house and renovating, they just got rid of it. And a lot of people in this city were very upset about that, but that began the idea of historic preservation. So once this building is ready to be used, they needed to make some changes in the neighborhood. The first thing is get rid of the grazing of animals out here. They don't want the governor looking out his window at that. The next thing they did, they built the church that's over on the corner. They basically built that to make the place look pretty. We are going to take a closer look at it. A couple of things began at that church that I bet many of you probably have taken part in your lives. And as we go over there, we're going to go in between these two little granite kiosks. That is a subway station, one of dozens in the Boston area, but this one is a rather historic importance. So if you are a rail fan, I've got a train story. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Set.
Here we go.
it, Hannah?
Try and jump over the side, and jump into the ocean.
We're gonna see if we can get over there to the lighthouse. I think we can. Yeah, looks good. Let's go.
Yo, wave, say hi.
This is an awesome beach we found. So the lighthouse we were at is right over there. Or maybe, I guess more technically right over there. But we walked around the edge to a different trail and found this awesome little beach. How cool. So right now the kids are taking off their shoes and their socks, and they might be getting in the water, and we'll see what happens. Eagle feather? You found an eagle feather? Seagull feather. Here it comes. Don't back away. May have to take a few steps forward. Littlest steps ever. It'll come right there. Just keep waiting for it. Oh, well, here it comes. Get out there, sis. So we came across these rocks and we found a little tidal pool. And if you look really close,
There is some crabs.
there's some crabs.
Look over there. There is crabs.
Cool, huh? All right.